want to talk about is marketing, and I'm going to start with the classic marketing funnel. So everything that you purchase goes through this funnel. First, you are not aware of something, then you're aware of it. Once you're aware of it, let's say you've never heard of jeans before, then you become aware that these things called jeans exist, then you're interested in them, you evaluate, and then you purchase. And by the way, I'm happy to share these slides with anybody so you don't have to feverishly jot down all of the notes. The way that we measure that, awareness is the emails that get opened. Interest is the people that visit your website. So they click on the email, they go through there. They evaluate, so they get to your donation page, and then they either donate or they don't. These are some pretty typical stats that you see along the side for open rate, click-through rate. And what this shows is an email campaign that you launched to 10,000 individuals. They got a 70% click-through rate, which means 1,700 people visited your web page. 25% of them made it to your donation page. 10% of the people who made it to your donation page made a donation. And that flow, those little charts over there, would be a classic email campaign. The problem with those classic email campaigns is that you're only talking to the people that you're already talking to. You don't expand your list beyond that. With social fundraising, what happens is at each stage of the funnel, those green circles, is where sharing happens. And so instead of being an individual web page that they're getting to a web page or maybe your Facebook page. They're getting to web and social pages. When they get to your donation page is social, so it's shareable from that place. And what happens is, down at the bottom, you get 20% more traffic. So now you have 2,000 new individuals that you're engaged with. The conversation stops being about how do I get the people that I'm already engaged with to give me more money, and it becomes what do I do with these new relationships that I have established with individuals. So the biggest thing about social fundraising is that it expands your reach. The other thing to note, and this is the part where it's more than just about the money, all of those things that are along those sides, what is a nonprofit's mission? It is often to generate awareness. We don't think about, when we launch social fundraising campaigns, those phases up the top, the interest, the evaluate. Those 1,700 people who went to your page, they now have a greater understanding of what your program is all about, what your project is about. So don't get so fixated on just the dollars that come out at the bottom, especially if you launch a social fundraising page. What you're going to get is new impressions to new places, because those fundraisers are going to share in places that you haven't imagined. Then you might get to marketing nirvana, which is called funnel collapsing. So if you have a social page like the ones that we have at Fundly or that Razoo has, or even to a certain degree Indiegogo, your web page and your donation page are in the same place. So they don't have to go through an extra step. Every time you collapse that step, what you see is, if you look at the map, even if your conversion rate is half what it was on the last slide, you get twice as many donors. Why? Because you have one fewer step. So the goal on social fundraising is, one, you're going to increase the awareness in individuals that you haven't reached before. So we see things in the 80% new donor acquisition. So when you launch a fundraising campaign, you're not raising money from the same people that you've raised money before. You're raising money from new people. And then the second is that you're expanding your awareness at the top of the funnel. This is what it looks like when you see the data down below. So this is one particular campaign. They raised $15,000. I picked a small example, not our $1 million raises that are often outside the reach. What you can see is where the traffic come from. 45% of it came from social sharing. The ones that are direct, that's also social sharing, because it's not coming from an email campaign. See the little bar at the top? That's the email. That means that those 90-ish% people are all new relationships. So the message that I'd want to leave you with on social fundraising is, one, social fundraising leverages your network's network. And as a result of the fact that it's not the thing that you control, but it's the network's network, what happens is it expands your awareness. So more people, different people, learn about your cause. It increases your conversion rate all along the funnel, and it allows you to attract new people to your campaign. Ironically, launching a social fundraising page gets you one of the things that we struggle with around social media, which is, what do I talk about? Because there's only so many times you can post a picture of your group having a meeting and all gathering for something. Fundraising campaigns give you that thing to talk about for 45 days. And even if all you talk about is yesterday we raised $500, you have something to talk about on your social channels, and that will in turn generate the awareness that you're looking for. I'm excited to have this conversation, and we'll talk more